Hello, I'm Junior Park in Department of Physical Education. Today, I will present the individual project in motor running and control. Now, let's start. The paper that's selected is the effect of self-talk and arguments feedback on running the tennis forehand. It was published in Journal of Applied Sports Physiology, Psychology. It is about the attentional focusing. The strategy of the self-directed attentional focusing is critical in getting students actively involved in the learning process. Also, attentional focusing focus on technique or task environment has been shown to enhance the learning and performance in the absence of instruction or feedback. In other words, when runners use attentional focusing, the runner's performance and running will increase. Next is the self-talk stage. The ST technique with two significant improvements in players' outcome and movement sequence scores during the intervention phase of each study, leading to authors to conclude that well-designed ST can enhance the performance of highly skilled athletes. And a similar provide study has already been reported. The effect, effectiveness of a ST strategy similar to Ziegler, but based on KP was tested by Curran using the forehand volley in tennis as the task. The result, uh, the result, sorry, sorry, the result indicated that the ST enhanced the outcome performance of the three participants. Based on improvement across participants, it was concluded that ST was helpful in teaching beginning tennis performance to attend to the critical parts of the tennis body. The purpose of the study is to know the effect of self-talk storage and knowledge of performance feedback on running the forehand tennis ground stroke. Next is the method about the subject. First is 24 undergraduate participants in the study as subjects. And they are divided into three experimental groups. This group met during their regular tennis class for 7 days to examine the interaction between ST and feedback. And three-person participants as instruction in the study. The instruction taught three groups of 8 randomly assigned participants using script lesson. One group lesson. One group under each condition. If you take a closer look at the group, it was divided into ST, STF, and FV per 8 persons. ST group is set to self-talk without knowledge of performance, and STF group is set to self-talk with knowledge of performance, and FB groups is set to knowledge of performance only. And the participants and instructor were positioned the mark. Subject attempted to hit 15 tennis forehand deep into the opposing backcourt. Also, tennis balls were fed by an instructor blind to the experiment's purpose. It is experimental procedure. In session 1, our participants performed the pre-test not provided with KP or SP instruction. Session 2 through 6 were the acquisition phase, wherein instruction and feedback appropriate to the participants group assignment was provided. In session 7, often involved the position post-test, which was identical to the pre-test. This study measures the four things under here: outcome scores, movement sequence scores, percentage of correct trial, and fourth is the feedback statement analysis. Particular, the movement sequences scores is set analysis criterion. The accept is the ready position, eye contact, hip and shoulder turn, weight transfer, and follow through. This is the result about the outcome scores. The outcome scores was the highest in STF group at 42.58 in post-test. Also, outcome scores show that the difference in the mean each group were 50.46, 21.58, 19.25 respectively. This is the result about the movement sequence scores. It was also the highest in STF at 15.29 in post-test. The variation in the pre-test and post-test was 2.33 and 6.25 and 5.5 for each group, indicating that STF group was the highest. It is the percentage of the correct trial. The STF group has the highest percentage, followed closed by the STF group. The FE group appeared to perform poorly in comparison to the SD groups during acquisition. This is the feedback statement analysis. The STF group required less feedback in comparison to the FE group on the following components now. Eye contact, hip and shoulder turn, and follow through during comparable amount of class time. And furthermore, the FE group needs the similar amount of feedback on the following components like ready position, weight transfer, and forward swing. Next is the discussion. The result from this experiment support the finding from recent reports regarding the usefulness of ST as a running tool. All groups were provided with the same basic instruction. Their papers reported. And second, the ST and STF groups recorded higher outcome scores. However, there are variety of possibility to account for the lack of significant outcome difference between the groups. And both groups need to improve their ready position and forward swing. Perhaps these two components of the tennis forehand are among the most difficult parts to prompt through SD. Further, further future study using ST may need to be modified to further improve execution of these forehand components. And the finding indicate that ST can enhance running the tennis forehand even when KP is unavailable. This is the reference for my individual project included a paper like this. And one more, and that's all. Thank you for listening.